Hello, everybody. Welcome to this episode of For the Hoard of the Dragon Queen. Looking forward to, especially with our pre-game conversation we were just having, how awesome this is going to go. Do dragons eat dragons? Is it something that is frowned upon if you feed dragon to another dragon?
Is there a way for us to make a poll in the chat
There is.
to ask, do dragons eat dragons?
I just got to remember how. Let's see.
I just feel like it's important, but we don't have to. Sorry.
While I'm trying to figure this out, let's do a round of introductions to see how, to let everyone know who you are. Janelle, let's start with you this week.
Hi, everybody. I'm Janelle, and I play Ashrin Laurelin, who is a devoted follower of Tiamat and emissary of Nerovane. Gosh, I can speak today. Nerovane, the green worm speaker. Oh, she's a paladin.
Perfect. Who would you like to popcorn it over to?
Mika.
Hi, I'm Mika. And my pronouns are he, him, and I am playing Lemon Zest, a kobold who has 5 different accents, one for each head of Tiamat. And he is a warlock artificer. Warlock just because if he stays in the cult for long enough, he will get his inheritance. And I think because some dragons types hate each other, that they probably do eat other dragons.
Oh, so you're saying that chromatic eat metallic and metallic eat chromatic?
Yes.
Interesting. Okay.
To gain their powers, like eating the heart of your enemy.
There you go.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
All right, who are you sending it over to?
Ooh, Adela.
Huzzah! I am Adela. I will be playing Aster, who is a nature cleric. She's not really into this Tiamat stuff, but her parents are fully invested, therefore she has to be invested enough. She pretty much just loves the people that she is traipsing around with, and just wants to have a good time.
Totally
Keep
fair.
it simple.
Nothing wrong with that. I believe that brings us to Mick. Mick, how's it going?
It's going. I'm Mick, and I am playing Chris, the drow rogue, who really likes to steal things.
And therefore has been an integral part of gaining Hoard for the Hoard of the Dragon Queen. Fantastic. I suppose I should say, hey, I'm Jeremy. You can find me here on this channel when I stream things, which is really quiet this week. We don't really have anything else going on this week except for this because it's our off week for Hunter, and we're taking this Friday off from Daggerheart the Broken Spine because people have lives, darn it, and therefore they're doing those lives. I know, right? Boo, living is for the weak. But we're going to extra enjoy today's game as we jump in. Let's just do a quick recap. Lemon Zest, you had followed... sorry, I almost said Mick, but Mick isn't right. Chris! You had followed Chris into the Plains of Purple Dust because during your long rest, Chris had seen a shimmering purple light in the distance. The drow leading you through the desert safely. You do come to a large dome of glass that seems to be largely buried by the sand and dust and rock of this area. But you saw several kobolds moving crates of what looked like vegetables and other ingredients into the caverns beneath this dome.
I love the racing intonation there.
Uh-oh. You had realized, or going down... just in case I wasn't distracted enough today. You're welcome. So, wanting to know what's going on, you decided to go down and investigate, Chris, keeping an eye out above as you... Thank you for the puppet treat. Hey, you. Eat this. Less squeak. You had introduced yourself and found out that these kobolds didn't know anything about this dragon, Tyrannaxis, or there was a dragon, but they worked for this guy, Nax. Nax was his name, and they're prepping for a cooking competition. You'd help them speed up the process of moving in the ingredients, as you can use your floating disc spell, and at the end of that, you decided to head back and find your friends, who, shortly after finding Chris, you had also run into them because they were like, where the hell did our friends go? And decided to follow. So now you've all gathered in the darker shadow of a outcropping of rock, hiding from sight of this dome. What's going on? What are y'all doing?
I think at the very end of last episode, when Lemon Zest had said everything that they talked about, Ashrin had been like, so they're working for someone named Nax. That's clearly Tyrannaxis.
Yes, I do believe that Ashran was able to put one and one together to get two.
And then we had decided to take a long rest, right?
Yeah, you decided to finish out your long rest here in this kind of blockaded area, out of sight of the dome, hopefully safe from the desert and its various hazards.
Okay. Just making sure so I can bump all my stuff back up. So do we want to go find your friend?
My other kobold friend.
Yes.
Yeah, I actually did not get his name.
Wonderful.
Yeah, to be fair, he didn't get mine either.
But the
It's just-
area seems non-hostile.
Right.
So then we should be able to just walk in, say we're here for the cooking competition.
Yeah, pretty much. I told him I'd be back and bring friends, so we're all good.
Well, this sounds
Like-
great.
Yeah. You know, kobolds, we're always on the same side no matter what dragon we serve.
I feel like Ashrin thinks about that for a second. Like, I don't know if that's accurate.
No, it's like because we're the peons, and so it's like, oh, hey, Greg, I see you're serving the new dragon, Flambeatron. That sucks. Yeah. Well, I guess I'll see you on the battlefield. Please don't kill me.
Fun.
Kobold life.
Yeah.
Yeah, buddies to the ends. I like it.
Yeah. Flumbaxter. There we go. That's a better name.
That has to be the one that we're up against in the cooking competition. And
absolutely.
he only knows how to flambe things.
Yeah.
All right, Lemon, show us the way. Do.
Yeah, I'm going. Here we go. 1, 2. Follow the leader. I'm the
Baxter
leader.
is just like,
Up
what
in
are
line.
you doing?
Yeah, he's
You crazy human.
He's been very needy the past 2 days.
Chris, I feel like I should ask you specifically, are you following? Or are you remaining out of sight still?
I'm gonna remain out of sight and
Okay.
see how the rest of the party is received, and then make
That's
my way over.
That is probably a good call.
It is a little more difficult just because it is daylight now, but go ahead and do a stealth check for me.
Wait, is Chris letting us know that they're gonna be out of sight while we go ahead, or no?
Oh yeah, I would let you know.
Then let me cast invisibility on you.
Oh, okay.
Nice.
Oh.
Look at this.
So Ashrin will cast invisibility on Chris before we head out.
It's funny, I hide the toy that she's just like shredding, so she's not making noise. She just goes and gets another one.
To shred.
She's like, you will listen to me destroy this.
Yes. I
Hey,
envision
Dingleberry.
Chris, like, as we're walking forward, Chris is backing up and, like, I was never here.
Yeah.
Right. Right, so as you disappear, that stealth check became easier because you were invisible. There are signs that you make when you're passing anyway. However, you feel pretty hidden being invisible and able to move silently. All right, I'll deliver that pupper treat when she comes back. There she is. You want this? Pupper treat redeemed. Thank you. Okay. So as the three of you visible folk head down this slight decline into this area, it's kind of a bowl that one side is made of this large purple and kind of tan colored glass dome, and the other side that you're heading down is not quite a dune. It's a little more solid than a dune, but the purple dust on top does have a little bit of give to it. It's a little slippery walking down. However, as you make your way down, you see just a couple of the kobolds left. Lemon Zest. Seems like they are taking care of the large lizards that are pulling the sleds that they'd use to bring things in. In the growing daylight, you notice that the lizards, the gear that they're using, the sleds, and the kobolds themselves are all highly stained purple, as though long exposure and work in this desert has perhaps permanently stained their scales and the things that have touched it. But kind of glancing down, you do notice like your shoes or whatever that you're wearing are also starting to be stained purple by this dust. As you get to the bottom,
this is weird.
You don't see
All of ours are just mine.
all of yours. You've been traveling through this
Okay.
enough. Yeah, you notice
Yeah.
your feet, because you're not wearing shoes, are you? There, Lemon Zest.
I
You're-
guess not.
At least in your art, you're
No.
not. Your claws are black. However, you do notice that there's like purple covering, like the outer enamel is starting to get stained, and the bottoms of your feet are definitely stained purple. And you don't see the fellow that you talked to earlier, but the kobolds that see you do recognize them, and they wave at you as you come traveling down.
I brought friends. We're here to cook.
Yeah,
Or to watch the competition. Yeah.
Oh, was that a thing? You should go talk to Cobalt, because we weren't really in on whatever you talked about. Just head down that tunnel you were taking everything down. He should be
Yeah.
he should be down there helping to put everything away.
Cool. I turn to the others. I guess his name is Cobalt.
You're Lemon Zest, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure you muttered your name to Cobalt, and then he told us all.
Slay. Okay, let's go.
They all just kind of eye you, not warily, kind of appreciatively, like maybe Lemon Zest's help earlier has bought you some goodwill here in this. I almost said encampment. It's really not an encampment. this large edifice of glass and who knows what else. So I almost called you Cobalt. Lemon Zest, as you head down one of the tunnels that you had helped to deliver things in earlier, it's a darkened tunnel of mostly brown and maybe some dark gray shale and sandstone. It's lit by torches. You can remember that they were separating things by color, and therefore they needed the light to be able to tell the difference. Is anyone doing anything besides following Lemon Zest?
I think Ashrin has taken off her helmet to look less scary in front of everybody.
Okay.
Like just trying to look a little bit less intimidating.
Without your helmet, what does Ashrin look like?
Ashrin has like a very long white blonde hair that's pulled back into a tight braid. And she has her long elven ears. And her eyes, which sometimes can get obscured by the helmet, are like a green reptile eye. Like they're not like a traditional normal elven eye.
Gotcha.
But yeah. And she has very like ashy gray white skin.
Okay. You do notice as you take your helmet off. You've been wearing it all day. You did take it off to go to sleep last night, but like you put it back on and we're traveling through the night and now into the morning. As you take it off, like purple dust kind of drifts out. Your almost platinum blondish hair is actually like almost lavender at the moment.
Ooh, that's pretty.
It's not solid, but it's like in streaks, almost like the as you've been wearing it, kind of sweating in your helmet. It's been working its way through.
Interesting.
Anyone else doing anything? Okay, so Lemon Zest, as you head down this tunnel, you can see ahead the crates that you had helped to bring in have been largely unpacked. There are color-coded sacks and boxes and such that have been set aside. They're on shelves. You see Cobalt, the fellow you had been talking with earlier, speaking with what looks like a brilliant purple kobold. Kind of a color that you've never seen before. She is kind of directing things and seems very in charge of the situation. And as you get closer, you can hear her muttering to them to, make sure everything is organized correctly this time. Make sure that the perishables are kept in the cooled area, whereas like the non-perishables, they can remain out here, stuff like that. And then she kind of eyes everything and then turns once more and heads into that larger chamber that you couldn't quite get a good look into while you were helping to unload things. Cobalt looks around and catches sight of you and waves you over. Oh, I didn't think you were gonna actually come back.
No, I said I would.
I mean, you
I
said
did.
that, but like you did help out, and I appreciate that. I thought it was a little weird that you were just like, "Hey, I don't want anything in return for this," but
I want to win this competition. That's what I want.
Oh, I mean, the competition's in a couple of days, and there's usually a lengthy process of getting, accepted to the boss's team. You're probably gonna need to go through, and like Dritz is probably gonna need to talk to you. She is not like really big on like surprises. She definitely does not want anything to go weird or wrong in this. And then if she likes you, then I mean, it's possible, depending on what you're looking to do. She could probably hire you on, or you might need to talk to Nax.
We should talk to Nax.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Nax is busy, but you could talk to Drist.
Oh, I'm turning to the others like that's what we want, right? Yeah, yeah.
Ashrin is just nodding. Yep.
Aster just has a
Yeah,
big
yeah.
smile. She's smelling everything and like trying to pick out different aromas that she can tell what it is. All about it.
Oh, another connoisseur of ingredients. I appreciate it. Hey, I'm Cobalt.
She leans down. Nice to meet you.
And you are
I'm Aster.
Aster. And oh, good name. Nice.
Nice
I like
to
that.
meet you. Thank you.
And you are? He holds up his hand to Ashrin.
Ashrin. And she shakes his hand.
Nice to meet you. What were you thinking about doing? You want to like be prep, like, you know, peel potatoes and stuff, or you want to like kind of like be the people who keep the ovens going or the right temperature? Just so you know, magic is not allowed. So even like keeping the ovens and stuff, we can't like use magic to do any of that stuff.
Interesting.
Oh, except for like, you know, last night bringing the ingredients in, that was fine.
So if we were in a role-playing game, what would you say the stat we would use for these things would be?
For what things?
Any of them.
I don't know what you're talking about.
For cooking things to help. Yeah.
like stirring a
yeah.
big pot.
Kind of
or-
depends. Like, excuse
Keeping
me.
the oven warm.
You might use like wisdom to know how something should be. You might be, if you're like flipping things, you might do dex. If you're like trying to juice something, you might use strength.
Okay.
Do you have any need for someone to just stare at the competition and maybe give insults, like an intimidation sort of situation?
You know what? I would talk to Dritz and see if, because like we're gonna do some practice runs tonight and tomorrow, like throughout today, and then tomorrow's mostly like prepped load up to, you know, take the gate to Neverwinter, and then once we're there we'll have to do like some more prep and stuff. But during the practice run, usually it's just us kobolds. We kind of like jeer and boo and cheer from the sidelines if we're not actually involved. You could probably, as long as Dritz is okay with it.
I could probably do that then.
You know, let me, I know she's busy right now, so you can either wait, or I could, this like kind of worried look crosses his face. I could just see if she's open to being interrupted right now.
Why don't you bring us to her and then we'll see if there's an opening for us to make an introduction or not.
Oh, yeah, that works. Does anyone need anything? Any refreshments?
What refreshments do you have?
Well, we were making lemon blueberry fizzies this morning during breakfast.
That
Breakfast
sounds
is actually
amazing. Yes, please.
Yes.
Oh, okay, yeah. Come on this way. He leads you down, and as you like travel down this tunnel, you notice it growing considerably colder. Not freezing, but definitely cooler. Those of you who are trained in Arcana can make an Arcana check.
Arcana. Okay.
Also, if someone could back it up, that'd be great. Just
Oh, I can't believe you can hear that. That's a
just-
17.
back that up.
That was so faint. I can't believe you heard that.
Oh wow, it is so loud here.
It's crazy loud.
17. Is anyone else making a roll? 16 for Aster. All right, with those numbers, as you're walking along, you notice very faint glyphs that are carved into the walls. You're not 100% sure what they like their origins, like exactly what it is that they do, other than get the feeling that they're controlling the temperature in here. They're making it cooler. You're not sure how you would recreate that. Your rolls weren't quite that good. However, you do feel like this area is not naturally this chilly. It is being kept this way on purpose through the use of magic. As you get further into this complex, this area kind of opens into a couple of tunnels. You can see like meats are kept in one area. There are some other things that are kept, looks like dairy, essentially. There's like some cheeses and some liquids and such. And you get to an area that has, it's very chilly in here, almost freezing, almost, not quite. You just see containers that they're like glass with like corks and stuff like that, and has various fluids in them. And then there are large barrels of what looks like almost frozen churned cream or something, with various ingredients mixed into them. Kobold reaches up and grabs a pitcher, pulls the stopper off, heads over, grabs some chilled glasses. They're like frosted, pours this effervescent purplish, but not in the way that the dust is purple. It's almost like the blueberries that have been macerated in this. You can see the chunks of them floating around, are faintly dyeing it this color with the lemons. And he hands the three of you a glass, not seeing I'm sorry if you can hear her. Not seeing Chris, obviously does not make a glass for Chris. However, Chris, following along is, as long as you are following along, I shouldn't assume, but if you are following along, you do see where the glasses are kept and where he got the pitcher, in case you would like to get some for yourself.
Okay, I'm following along. Yeah, I'll pour myself some, I think.
Okay. So after he turns away, Cobalt kind of walks up to you and is talking, and you see just this pitcher float over, pour into a glass. The pitcher goes back. What are you all doing?
Oh, Aster just loves this. Are there labels on all of the things, the glasses and the...
You actually don't see any labels.
No labels?
Yeah, he seemed to just know where everything was.
Okay. So Aster is just going to kind of like look really closely at all of these glasses and try and pick one up and look and like maybe try and smell and see if that's allowed.
So like the stuff that has liquid in it and such?
Yeah, just the stuff on the wall that's the closest.
Make a nature check for me. It's very cold in here, and you're noticing it's kind of dampening the smells that come out of things. Every so often you're like, oh, that's raspberry. This is like pureed raspberry juice or something, and they're like tart enough that you can smell it, but you're having a hard time really telling what a lot of the things are.
That's a bummer. Aster would like to taste some of the things.
Sure. Yeah, you get the feeling there's a lot of fruit juices in here. There's some various dairy things, as well as it takes you a bit, because there's one that you're kind of like tasting and it tastes kind of like milk, but it's off, like you can't quite taste it, and then you're like, oat milk? And Cobalt's, oh, you got it. Yes, exactly. Some of the judges, and to be honest, most of the kobolds really are lactose intolerant. We really don't do well with it, and so anything that if we want to make things that would typically have dairy, we go with like the oat milk. It's our preferred, but we do have almond milk and rice milk. We also have there's another one in there I'm forgetting.
This is amazing. How do you know where everything is? How can you tell with no labels?
Oh, I've been here for years. We just kind of have our system.
Okay. Well, this is so cool. I just want to see it all.
Oh, please look around. Any friend of
Aster's
Lemon
just gonna
Zest
look
is a
for it.
friend of ours. The lemon blueberry fizzy is quite tasty. It tickles your nose as you drink it. You're not really sure how these bubbles got into it. You've never had anything. If you've had beer, then it's kind of like that, but much more effervescent. What do you do?
I think I'm just like walking around with Aster, like just kind of like following her and just making sure she doesn't like eat something and accidentally poison herself. But I'm just like watching because this is so foreign to anything that Ashlyn has ever been involved in. So she's kind of like unsure about what to do, but like very awkwardly sipping her fizzy drink.
Love it. As you are sipping it, whether you like it or not, that is completely up to you. I'm not going to tell you if it is quite pleasant tasting if you're into that kind of thing. If you're not, it's maybe a little bitter, kind of makes the back of your tongue want to like clench. But as you're doing that, you do notice kobolds moving in, moving things like grabbing ingredients, heading back out. Some are bringing ingredients into store. You're just kind of standing out of the way the best you can.
Yeah.
Oh, go ahead.
Sorry, no, you go.
Cobalt is just like, so why don't you all just hang out? I'm just gonna go check and see what Drizzt is doing, and we'll why don't we go from there? Yeah.
Sounds
Okay.
good.
All right, I'll be back. So you're left in mostly solitude. There are kobolds that move in and out of the room randomly. It's not obviously not a procession of people. What do you do?
Should we ask someone who the challenger is to Nax in the cooking competition?
Yeah, we should definitely ask someone details.
And do you remember there was mention of she who will not be named?
Oh, right. So
Oh,
they
yes,
can't
it
say
is.
her name.
Yeah.
She seems...
I mean, there's still descriptions. They can still just be like,
Yeah.
you know, her. All right, who's the closest to us?
I just want to make sure, like, it's not if it's another dragon. It seems like an important thing to know.
Fair enough. As you were kind of standing around having this conversation, Aster, you look around. A small blue kobold, brighter in scale color than cobalt, is currently like stuffing. There's like an empty barrel that he brought, like a large. He's brought several buckets of what looks like thickened cream into these large chunks of something in it. It's dark, might be kind of a dark brownish in color, and he seems to be scooping it into this barrel and like mushing it down for storage.
Aster's just gonna walk up to him and be like, and just ask, you know, what is this? Tell me all about it. It looks amazing. It smells delicious, and just try and use that as an opener.
He looks down at it. He's like, I actually haven't tasted this one because it's got the dairy in it, but it's chilled cream with chunks of dark chocolate. We're freezing it for now, but we'll probably like do some kind of like raspberry reduction over the top when we serve it.
Ooh, have you ever thought about adding a little bit of mint with that? Oh,
Mint.
that would just make it
You know, it
come
sounds
alive.
familiar. I don't know if we have or not. I haven't tried that.
That'd be really interesting. So, hey, with this cooking competition, I heard that there's a particular one that must not be named.
Oh,
How
yeah.
difficult, how talented is this person?
Oh, I mean, she's pretty good. I'm
This
not gonna.
floozy.
I feel like it's not like out of the realm of understanding when we talk about it that she is a very good chef. However, she's also tends to be the one that if Nax loses a competition, she's the one who beats him. I know he has. Don't tell anyone this. I know he respects her, but there's that professional antagonism. I think is what they call it. That they like.
They used to be lovers.
Oh, I don't
I was
know.
just about to ask, is this sort of an enemies to lovers situation, or
Yeah,
when they fight, does it also look like they want to?
there is
Yes.
a weird smolder that goes on.
Amazing.
But I've never heard anything otherwise. That they're just like kind of frenemies. They respect one another, but
And also kiss sometimes.
I mean, if that happens, it's not in front of the kobolds. I'll tell you that.
Probably after yelling at each other.
There's a lot of very angry kitchen sex that happens afterwards.
If you were to describe what she who must not be named looks like,
Like
what
if I
would you
had
say?
to,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
like on pain of death, or
Yes.
oh, okay. She's about she's taller than any of you.
Okay.
Is she taller
she
than
a
Nax?
dragon?
Is she a dragon? No. Why would she be a dragon?
Is she a
Why
big
wouldn't she
lizard?
be?
Is she a really big lizard?
Is she a large kobold?
No. I don't know if I missed any there. There's a no. There's a no. She's got 2 arms, 2 legs. She's maybe a couple feet taller than you. And she
Interesting.
gestures at, I think Ashrin's the tallest of you here.
I don't remember how
She-
tall I made her.
Is she a Goliath?
What's a Goliath?
Does she have
A
blue
really tall
skin?
person.
Oh, then yes, she's one of those.
Okay.
I mean, not every tall person's a Goliath. Not.
Oh,
Every
Yeah.
person with blue
well, how do you
skin is-
tell?
I mean, you've met people other than dragons and kobolds, right?
Yeah, I see a lot of people in Neverwinter, but I mean, our time there is kind of spent, taking care of the ingredients and stuff like that, prepping the kitchen. And we don't really get to go out a bunch. But I know there's other people, mostly humans.
Goliaths are giant kin, so they tend to be much taller than regular humans.
I mean, she who will not be named is definitely taller than humans.
But she has.
Is she a minotaur?
We're just gonna go
that-
through.
Is that also a tall person?
Does she have skin like I have, or fur, or scales, or?
Oh no, she's got skin, but it's kind of it's not really like you have. It's kind of sandy colored.
Okay.
But it's skin.
I think I've never touched it.
Okay.
But not scales, not fur.
Yeah.
I mean, definitely not like we have. No, not scales, and definitely not fur. No.
What does Nax have?
What do you mean?
What does Nax look like?
Takes a long moment to think this over. He's just a little taller than you. Has green skin.
Interesting.
He's got those like teeth that, because his jaw juts out and he's got the teeth that stick up. I can't think of what those are called.
Oh,
Like an underbite?
he's an orc?
Yes, he has one of those.
Interesting. Group meeting for a moment.
Carry on.
Ash-
That looks amazing what you're doing. We won't
Oh.
bother you any longer.
Gotcha. He continues scooping stuff out.
Is it possible that it's two dragons who shapeshifted?
I mean, that's possible.
Oh. Yeah, that would make sense.
Hmm.
I mean, Tiamat shapeshifted when she came to me. So,
Some dragons prefer to stay in more of a humanoid form.
I love that no one blinked an eye at that.
Right.
Oh,
Seen a lot. We've all been around.
yeah, no, it's very normal to have visions from your patron.
I feel like Ashrin is like the most devout amongst you, so she's just all like, yeah,
Yeah.
metaphor or whatever.
Yeah.
Aster's just
And?
gonna play it cool and like look at Chris and nod like, yeah.
Well, Chris is invisible. Do we feel Chris's presence?
Yeah.
You look at the floating glass of lemon blueberry fizzies.
Yeah, Aster is gonna look over where she knows Chris is and kind of like nudge the air over there and be like, mm-hmm.
How many glasses of lemon blueberry fizzy have you had, Chris?
Let's say maybe like 2.
And did you use the same glass for each, or is this like a fresh
I
glass?
use the same one.
Okay.
You know, maybe
There's just like a
like
bunch of
8
used glasses all
piled
over.
up.
Well, it's either that they're shapeshifted or not the people we're looking for. So it's one of the two.
Well, I guess this is the decision if we stay, you know. I mean, we need to know.
I mean, we're already here.
Yeah.
We should stay.
The food is fantastic. I want to try some more. Like, what's for dinner? We should ask somebody.
When is the competition? Is it today or tomorrow?
It sounded like it was a couple of days from now.
Oh, okay.
It seemed like today was going to be a practice run for what they were making. And then tomorrow was prep before taking a gate to Neverwinter.
Okay.
Well, I guess we should see if we're needed and where we can be put to work. And also if we can have a taste. Because that sounds amazing.
It's shortly after this that the small blue kobold walks by you, and there's like a little wooden bowl that's been filled with this frozen cream and chunks of chocolate. There's a wooden spoon sticking out of it. He hands it to you, hands one to Ashrin, but to Lemon Zest, he actually holds up a bright green frozen something. It's like it looks similar, I guess, as far as
That's
consistency.
my favorite band.
What's
Bright
that?
Green Frozen Something. Bright Green Frozen Something is my favorite brand.
Excellent,
Band.
excellent. Yeah.
Yeah.
He says, I don't know if you could do the cream stuff. So here, this one is this is lime sorbet.
Can you still hear the beeping?
Oh yeah.
Damn it. I don't know if it's going away anytime soon, unfortunately. I'm going to be on mute a lot.
Yeah. Enjoy. And he trucks back down the way you came from.
You know, the other approach we could take, I prepared a bunch of spells this morning that I don't usually have in my arsenal, specifically for cooking purposes. We could pretend to be referees, because I have detect poison and disease, purify food and drink, and detect magic. And they said that there's no magic allowed in the competition, so we could also just act as judges, potentially. as an idea, throwing it out there.
Mika, I
mean,
feel like
maybe
you're
we
trying to
can
time this. It's just not going to happen. You should absolutely just.
It's I mean they haven't seen Chris yet, so Chris could definitely be a judge.
Could always just offer our services. We would need to speak to the person in charge, though.
You know, yeah, that probably would be the easiest. I probably don't have great cooking skills. I don't think I could hack it as a sous chef.
I mean, they already don't speak this woman's name. So if we could maybe plant it in their minds that she could be planning to cheat.
I mean, it sounds like they wouldn't suspect that she would.
As you're conversing,
So-
you do see coming down the hallway is Cobalt, and trailing very closely behind is that female kobold that you saw that is kind of the bright purple. And,
Hey, Cobalt.
Oh, here they are. So yeah, these are the people. Oh yeah.
Hi.
Hi. This is. Let me introduce you. This is Drizzt. Drizzt. This is Lemon Zest and Aster
Aster.
and Ashrin.
Hello.
Huh, I remember your names. Huh. This
Hooray.
female kobold steps up. She's a little taller than Cobalt, not much. As she steps up, you can see her scales are actually kind of a mottled purple, and you realize she's probably just stained that way. She
Oh, gosh.
has white scales that have been heavily stained and not marred. It's not really the right word for it, but definitely stained this purple of the desert's dust. So you got like 5 minutes. I've got stuff to do. What'd you need?
We were discussing the different ways we could potentially assist the competition. Aster here is a fairly good chef, and I have a set of skills that could help with managing and making sure that all the food is on the up and up and not contaminated by magic or somehow tampered with. If that would be helpful.
You know, so she's like, you're talking, she's like rubbing her snoot. Usually us kobolds are kind of the temporary judges during our trial run. However, having somebody on the outside who doesn't know necessarily what's going on as far as what's in the ingredients and stuff, doesn't know what to expect. That's the hardest part, because a lot of us already know what's going on. We know what to expect, what the flavors are going to taste like. So this is something that we could probably work with in having your palate. She just gestures to Aster, and your set of skills in knowing whether or not any cheating has gone on. Not that it would ever happen in this kitchen, but yeah, I could see that being the case. Do you have any references? Anyone that I can message?
Oh, I was muted. Probably for the best.
Okay.
I just said our Lord and Savior Tiamat, but
Nope.
no.
I mean, you're all wearing Tiamat
Yeah, I
regalia,
guess that is
so
kind of.
Just pray about it and see if you feel it burning in your bosom from
I
Tiamat.
guess.
That lets you know.
Oh, I mean, it's
No,
I'll
that
be
was out of
honest.
character. If you notice, I didn't do the kind of gravelly voice.
Excuse me.
I don't necessarily have a reference you could get a hold of this moment. But if you have any contaminated food, I can tell you exactly what's wrong with it. And that should be evidence enough.
Yeah, why don't you come this way? She starts heading back down the tunnel.
I
Who is following and who is not following, I guess?
I'll follow. I'm
Okay.
curious. I'm curious about it all.
Yeah, we'll follow.
As you walk
I
by,
will follow
Lemon...
everyone while I'm invisible.
Perfect. As Lemon just walks by Cobalt, he kind of like nudges you. He gives you the, yeah, good job. As you head down, she leads you down a warmer tunnel. This one you saw haunches of meat being carried down earlier. It's not as warm as outside or the areas beyond. Essentially, the further you down the tunnel you went, the colder it got. But it's not freezing here. And she steps in, and there's several lines of chain strung from the ceiling. From these chains, there are hooks that have different pieces of meat hanging from them. It looks kind of like a... For those of you who have gone to a butcher's in a city, looks vaguely reminiscent of that, as though they were setting up something similar in a cave. You can see a large table with some cuts of meat on it, and she leads you over to that and just kind of gestures.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think?
I will use detect poison and disease.
Okay.
And then, so that should... for the duration, you can sense the presence and location of poisons, poisonous creatures, and diseases within 30 feet of you. You also identify the kind of poison, poisonous creature, or disease in each case. Spell can penetrate most barriers, but is blocked by... And there's a big list.
Nice.
Do I sense anything afoot from any of the food in here?
So as you cast your spell, she's eyeing you. She watches you very closely as so you have to make some hand gestures and such.
Yeah.
Kind of looks at you, and nothing appears either from the table or from what's hanging behind you. However, kind of over there near the entrance. Yeah. Over there near the entrance, there is looks like a large metal bin that has a heavy top over that's been pulled over. It looks like the top itself is metal, and you feel like there's something in there that's just gone bad. Not necessarily diseased, but you wouldn't eat it if you didn't want to get sick. It's that level of bad meat.
She sort of just walks over there and says, whatever is in here has spoiled. If you were to open it, I could fix it potentially.
She nods. She's like, interesting. Very good, very good. Yeah, we don't keep any spoiled meat in here, and we're very choosy about our ingredients. If something does go bad, it goes into this compost bin where we will use it later after it is kind of done its thing. And so we don't need you to do anything with it, but good to know that you can actually tell the difference. Interesting. And you are very good with your ingredients, I hear, she says to Aster.
Absolutely. I love new ingredients. I love trying to mix ingredients together to find fantastic tastes. I'm just excited to see what you guys do.
What would you say is your most prominent mixture so far?
Oh gosh. Well, I mean, I do make some really nice candies, mostly because we travel so much, and I don't think my friends have had this yet, but I really enjoy kind of a pistachio cream cheese truffle mixture. that is delicious. And sometimes I add a little bit hint of mint to things just to give it that extra pop.
You know,
but
I'm going to be
do like
honest.
pistachios.
You had me at pistachio, you lost me at cream cheese, but to each their own. However, I'm very interested in these candies you're speaking of. What kind of candies do you make?
I'm gonna give him one of the candy lozenges that I hand out. That's
Sure.
kind of like a stress reliever. Yeah.
So she pops it in her mouth. You can hear her like rattling around. She's like tonguing it, so it's like kind of bouncing around her teeth. She like kind of moves it all over her tongue. Interesting. I'm not sure I would have thought about this this combination, but the texture is good, and kind of like the effect. It feels very calming. Yeah, I feel like I need to like maybe get your recipe on this because I could eat these during the entire competition and probably be a little less stressed. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And Aster like starts to get out like a pen and piece of paper and writes things down. She loves sharing her knowledge.
Through this, what is Chris doing?
I guess I can make an appearance now.
Okay. What would that look like? Are you...
I'm just gonna casually just break invisibility. Just pop up. Just...
Are you doing so like in line of sight of...
Oh
Does
yeah,
it-
it's gonna... Yeah, oh, yeah.
Okay. So as she's like tasting this lozenge, this drow appears. Hang on, I gotta roll my yes, no, maybe die. Okay. Her eyes go wide and she inhales quickly. And then her eyes go wider as she kind of starts clutching her throat. And her mouth opens.
Ashrin runs over and does the Heimlich maneuver.
Make a medicine check.
Oh God, I shouldn't be doing this.
It'll be fine. I'm sure it's gonna be great.
It's a -1 to medicine here. Oh my God,
What can Aster do?
y'all.
Check.
So Aster, you see
Y'all.
this new
I
friend
got
of
a
yours
2. for
runs
everyone
over,
at home.
picks up this kobold, and like essentially just starts like squeezing her really tightly. And you can see as like her eyes get even wider and her mouth doesn't quite close anymore as she's just like
Just straight up murdering this person.
Oh my gosh. Aster's gonna run over there and can I also do a medicine check to see?
sure.
Fabulous.
Much better. You're trying to
Okay.
figure out how to get this kobold out of Ashrin's arms to try and
Sure.
and you just happen
Yeah.
to like glance down. You can see the lozenge stuck. You just reach in very daintily, pluck it from her throat, and she just starts coughing. Her eyes are watering.
I'm gonna offer her a part of my fizzy drink. Here.
She takes a drink and then starts coughing. But while she's coughing, she's kind of bent over. She has a hand on one knee and she's like pointing at Chris. And in Draconic, those of you who speak it, you can hear her saying, "Who is that?" You're muted.
Freaking beeping. Yeah, that's Chris. He's another one of my friends.
Oh, he just does that sometimes.
Cobalt runs into the room at this point and is like kind of massaging Drizzet's back. What is Chris doing?
I'm not really doing anything, I guess. Just, I introduced myself like, hello, I am Chris. I was just following around to make sure that everything was okay, and it seems like you do not intend to harm my friends. So
Nice. Make
Aster
a
nods like this is normal, you know? Yeah.
Go ahead and make a charisma check. You can do persuasion if you have it.
I do not. Let's see, charisma. Okay, well that wasn't very charismatic of me.
Should I feel like I should be the one doing this. Saying like, yeah, this is my friend. He's good. They're good. They're just, yeah.
So if you want to do that and give Chris advantage on that, then we could take the other side of that roll instead of the 2.
Yeah, it's a natty 20
Oh.
for 23.
Yeah, so the two of you together at first, Drizzle looks very annoyed, but Cobalt is like kind of like soothing her and like saying, "Oh, you know, he was just wandering around. It's totally my fault. I should have said something." And he like winks at you, Chris. You know, I totally knew he was here. And she stands up. Okay,
I mean, it's hard to miss the floating glass. We weren't, no one was
to be fair.
hiding anything.
I don't know anything about a floating glass, okay? But if you're going to be here too, what do you bring to this?
What do I bring to this?
An exceptional palate.
Yeah, that's what I have.
Oh, okay, interesting. Yeah, so you want to... Okay, yeah, you could be on the taste testing, I think. I'm sorry. Great to meet you all. I got to get back to work. I'm going to leave you in Cobalt's capable hands. Wish you the best. Thanks for offering to come in and do this.
Oh, absolutely. This is so fun. I mean, you guys are such exceptional craftsmen, and we're excited to be a part of it.
When you say it's fun, she kind of looks at you. She's like, this is very serious work.
Okay, mostly it's an honor. I'm sorry, I misspoke.
No, I know it's an honor, but I just need you can have fun. I'm not going to argue with that, but I just need you to understand this is our life work. This is what we do.
Well, I'm just honored to be here.
A quick question. One, where is the head chef? And 2, in how many days exactly is the competition? Is it in 2 days?
Day after tomorrow, yeah.
Day after tomorrow. Okay. And
Nax is in the kitchen. He's working on some stew.
Delightful.
I don't really know what to call it yet because he's making it up as it goes.
Well, we don't want to keep up any more of your time, so...
I appreciate that. All right. Cobalt, just make sure
Ashern's gonna start heading towards where they said Nax is.
Cobalt, make sure they stay out of trouble. Just, keep them entertained or whatever. You've done your duties for the day. Thanks. And she, picks up the lozenge and puts it back in her mouth and heads down the tunnel.
It's a win. She likes it.
Right. So essentially, Ashran would start heading directly after because you're heading back out to where you saw that larger chamber. You could kind of smell the cooking smells, but they were a little faint from where you were. But as you head that direction, is anyone following, or are you staying here?
I suppose following, because we really want to get to Snaxus. I saw that in chat, and
Absolutely.
No, it's good.
Right?
It's real good.
Yeah. I think that's Raven. Thank you.
Perfect. Bloop. So I'm sharing the link to the yes, maybe, no die that I have. in chat. It's over on Etsy. It's pretty useful. Speeds things up sometimes. As you follow along, so Ashrin, you're in the lead of everyone, and you notice there are like some areas of the tunnel that you start heading down that are openings into this larger chamber, but they're more like vents maybe or something. Not quite windows. They don't go out anywhere. But you can catch glimpses into it, and it does look like a very massive kitchen. You see ovens and stovetops and racks filled with various utensils and cookware, pots and pans of various types, copper, iron, etc. You can see every so often glimpses of somebody moving around. Very large fellow, green skin. And as you step into the chamber, you see kobolds just running around. We'll call this organized chaos, as they seem to know exactly what they're doing. However, to you, it just looks like they're running around with their heads chopped off. It's just like, oh my goodness, what's going on? And so doing your best to get to a place where you can see what's going on without getting involved, you step off to the side and you catch a glimpse of Nax. You see a very large orc. If you're in Roll20, you should see his picture.
Yeah.
This orc is maybe 6.5, going on 7 feet tall. Tusks jutting out from an underbite as he sips from a large ladle of something. There's a large pot in front of him. You get sense of maybe some kind of stew. There's rosemary. This is mostly Aster that's catching this. Some rosemary, maybe some thyme. There's some scent in it you can't quite place. And it has a...
I feel like Aster would be saying this all out loud too. Like just
Nice.
Super
I was
loud.
imagining it in her voice.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. But it's your voice right now.
As you're watching, as he moves around, you realize this large fellow is wearing nothing but his white chef's cap and a heavy leather apron as he moves about, dropping little sprinkles of things into this cauldron of stew.
So wait, he's naked with an apron?
Absolutely.
Apparently.
And a chef's hat.
It's a look.
Mood.
Yeah.
It is a mood.
Yeah.
As they approach, Ashrin is going to cast Detect Magic.
Okay.
And I mean, I'm looking everywhere, but I'm specifically trying to see if Nax is using like alter self, polymorph, shape change, something to that effect.
You look around, you actually see very little in the way as far as magic goes in this chamber. There's like a cleaning station that seems to be enchanted. Somehow, get the feeling it like helps to make sure everything is... Sorry, I lost the word. Cleaned very well.
Sure.
Like sanitized?
Sanitized,
or...
thank you. And otherwise, the only magic you see is the bracelet on Nax's arm, which glows with an aura of some kind.
Of what kind of magic?
Darn it. Shh. I should know this off the top of my head, but I don't.
That's okay.
Transmutation.
Yeah, that's what I figured. Okay. Ashrin just clocks that. And I don't think she's gonna say anything about it now. I think she's gonna wait for the competition to say something about it. At least 2 knacks. But in the meantime, she's gonna whisper to the rest of the group. I do believe we've found a dragon, though. He has a bracelet on that has transmutation magic coming off of it.
Excellent.
Should I try
Aster's
to
really-
steal it?
That's a good question.
Steal it.
Well, what I was thinking was, since I've already offered to check all the food and everything before the competition, that we can bring up right before the competition that he isn't allowed to have magic items. Because
And then I steal
magic.
it.
Wait, why are we trying to disqualify him though? And it doesn't really affect
Well,
his ability to make food.
we
I mean,
sort
should we
of
just say,
need to get him into
hi.
dragon form to have a conversation.
do we though? Can we just say hi right now?
I mean, sure, if you want. It just puts us at a negotiating point of advantage if we have something over him.
I mean, we can just tell him right now that we know.
Ashrin sort of just like goes to Lemon, says, "Be like, all right, lead the way."
Oh, no, I was waiting for you to shoot that down.
Oh,
Okay, how many orcs speak Draconic? Probably not many. What's
Probably not a lot. Granted, he is in some place where he is instructing kobolds, so wouldn't be out of the question.
Mm,
I mean, we can really just maybe get him talking and see if there's any hints of anything as far as his personality, his vibe, and then go from there.
Drizzt walks by and is all like, yeah, could you all just back up a little bit? Just back up. You're kind of in the path. Just back up. Oh,
How
then the
can you
beating
teach me how to
stops.
cook?
Jesus Christ.
Not right now. Yes, you can absolutely. We've got 364 days of the year. Actually, I don't know if that's right because this is Faerun, and I can't remember how many days are in the Faerunian calendar. But that aside, this whole
Are you
year
not
has
from
been.
Faerun?
What's that?
Are you not from Faerun originally?
I am, but I don't remember how many freaking days are in a calendar year here.
Because you're a chef, not a calendar person.
Exactly. I'm not a
meteorologist.
Exactly.
Oh my god.
So the rest of the year.
I didn't intend for Lemon Zest to be such an idiot, but I mean, here we are in the teens episodes later. I'm saying all this in Draconic.
There are 365
By the
days
way.
in the year.
Yeah.
Because
All right.
got to keep people comfortable in their imaginary spaces.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, just tell me more. You can talk and cook at the same time, right?
What? Not really. I mean, I'm not cooking. I'm organizing. And what do you want?
I would like to know more about this competition and about your transmutation bracelet.
She looks at Cobalt. Didn't I tell you to keep them out of the way? And I don't have a transmutation bracelet. What are you talking about? Cobalt's all like, oh, yep, sorry. And he comes up and grabs you by the shoulder and just kind of like directs you kind of off to the
It's
side.
pretty easy to figure out.
She's not wearing bracelets. What are you talking about?
Aster wants
Wait,
to
do
give
not gaslight me.
advice. Like while this is going on, like she feels super uncomfortable with this whole thing. So she's like, what would Aster need to roll to come up with like a spice that whatever the stew is needs and will make it better?
Go ahead and do a
like
nature
based on
check
smell?
for me.
A what check?
A nature check.
A nature check. Let's do that.
So you're like sniffing, you're kind of eyeing what's on the table that you can see from here. There's this smell to the stew that you can't quite place. And you're not 100% sure. So until you figure out what that flavor is, you're not really certain that you would want to suggest anything. So you really need to taste it first.
I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna taste it.
You're just walking up to the.
Yeah. It's gonna
This
taste
is amazing.
We're gonna do it. We're gonna do it. I'm gonna grab a spoon that looks like it's already been sanitized and take a scoop and step away and taste it.
So you head over to this like sanitation table where Ashton kind of pointed out that there was magic over there. You grab a spoon, you head over. As you like lean in and take a small spoonful, you do glance over at Nax, who's standing there cooking. And you find that he's already looking at you. He has a small smile on his face. You realize his eyes are kind of this weird sandy brown with flecks of purple in it, and his pupils are slits like you would see in a reptile.
Fabulous.
And he just kind of watches you take the taste.
Yeah, I'm gonna take a taste. I'm trying to. I want to like distract the whole situation so everybody can like, gather information from this. And can I tell what the ingredient is?
I'm gonna have you do a wisdom check, just straight wisdom.
Damn. Whiz.
You have never tasted this before. It is
All right, that's
completely
okay.
weird, and I will say that even though you've never tasted it before, so you can't place what it is, it does give a rather, it's kind of like enhancing the meaty flavor of this stew, and you realize there's like chunks of venison, or yeah, you're pretty sure it's venison, and it's very tender. It kind of melts in your mouth. It's very good. You just having a hard time thinking of anything that would make it better.
Okay. Aster is going to go overboard with her compliments. This is amazing! Oh my gosh! What is that ingredient? There's the one, and I'm gonna look and like eye contact, like you know the one. There's one I can't place, and that is amazing. It brings out so much flavor. I was so curious, and here I am. I'm curious again. Secrets.
Even though there's a lot of like noise going on in this room as the sorry, just read chat. It's MSG. That's what's in it. The kobolds are like chattering to each other, calling out, make sure everyone knows where each other are as they're moving through, moving things around. This isn't the only dish being prepped for for preparedness. Blah, 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 blah. Even though there is this noise, you can hear this like deep rumbling noise. And Aster, you're closest, so you realize that it's just Nax chuckling. Kind of begins to fill the cave. And without saying anything, he eyes this. Looks like a little spice jar. It has, it is made of clay. It is not transparent. The cork on top is stained with purple dust.
Oh my god, is it purple dust? Is that the ingredient?
And as you kind of lean in and look at it and you open it and glance, it is chock full of purple dust. It seems like it's been like refined. Like there's no dirt in it. Or there's no sand. There's no like extraneous debris that you've been walking across for the last couple of days. It seems like somehow just that dust has been removed from wherever he sourced it from.
All right. Well, Aster's like, so the jar itself, like I can tell that there's dust. Can I like hold it and sniff it? And I'm gonna do that and be like, wow, that is amazing, genius, pure genius.
So trying to like, so you smell it and trying to like place it, like there's nothing, it doesn't smell like the desert that you've been walking through, and there's nothing you can compare it to. It's very unique. Just have a taste.
All right. She's going to dip her finger in there and try and get some and taste it.
You need to go ahead and just make a con save for me.
Fabulous. That's so fabulous.
I'm sure it's going to be fine.
That's going to be great.
Where is everyone else at this point? I'm just curious.
I think I would have like followed Aster over, but I haven't said anything.
Okay. Where's Chris?
I'm also there. Maybe a little behind Nax.
Okay. And Lemon Zest?
That's a great question. How far has Cobalt shushed me away?
Well, so if you decided to follow everyone, Cobalt has moved with you all, but is like kind of steering you through the organized chaos.
Oh, okay. Then yeah, I guess I'm just following everyone.
Every so often he just kind of like nudge one of you out of this like pathway that you haven't really seen, but as soon as he does, like a couple of kobolds will move through there carrying something. Yes, I know you need attention. Chris, what is your passive perception? Oh, you're muted.
It's 13.
13. And what is Ashran's?
Ashran's passive perception is 11.
All right. So, Chris, you notice a slight shudder goes through Aster. And she just kind of like sits down on the floor. You've seen her do this before when she gets real high.
Oh gosh.
Next, quickly puts a spoon down, puts a lid on the pot, kneels down in front of her. Oh, I'm very sorry. I forgot that with people who haven't had a lot of it before, maybe I shouldn't have had you just. All right, so, Drizzt, can you just have her go lay down somewhere? She's gonna want to just kind of ride this out.
Is this some sort of narcotic effect?
Kind of, yeah.
Ashran's just gonna go over and do 5 points of lay on hands to get rid of
Nice.
whatever it is.
So, Aster, it's like the cleanest, best high, without any paranoia, without any weirdness, just like this floaty feeling has been carrying you through the last several hours. In honesty, it's not even been a minute yet, but time has slowed down. Like, there are so many secrets of the universe just spinning around you. If you could just spend a little more time. You're sober. Yep, that sucks.
Oh, that was the most amazing feeling. Is there a possibility that I could get the tiniest amount? I make these lozenges that are fantastic, but this is a whole new thing. This is amazing.
Yeah.
I like
Can I
that
help a little bit?
we're turning Aster into a drug dealer? Is that what's happening right now?
Medicinal.
We can definitely.
Medicines.
Drizzt said that you make these lozenges. I was actually going to ask if I could maybe try one, but you should, if you're okay. We can definitely talk about that. Maybe not right now. This is a little time consuming. I've got to make sure everything steeps down at the right level. Would you mind talking later?
Yeah, absolutely. And then Aster's gonna just give a lozenge right off the bat to help mellow out the situation.
Oh, thank you. He pops it in his mouth. And he goes back to stirring. What do you all do? It's just like glaring at you all.
So, but Nax said that he would speak to us later?
Hmm?
Alright, well, I mean, that's what we mainly want, is just a conversation with him away from everybody else, so guess we're just chilling until then.
I mean, is it like lunchtime or dinner time? I would assume that we would be fed.
Yeah. When you came in, it actually smelled kind of like breakfast, and he had mentioned, Cobalt had mentioned that they had these lemon blueberry fizzies during breakfast. So you do know they probably ate a little earlier than you all, but you would assume that their lunch would be in a couple hours here. What are you talking about?
I would say we should find something to eat and just hang out for a little bit and discuss.
Drizzt is whispering fiercely to Cobalt, who comes over, looks at Lemon Zest, then looks at the rest of you. So I'm just we're going to go ahead and just like take you out of this room, just to, for your own safety, because there's times, if a spill happens, we don't want you to like get burned or anything like that. But we could take you to the dining room, or we've got like a dormitory where you can like take a nap if you want to. He's like looking at Aster when he says this, like he's kind of expecting you to be like super not with it, so he's a little confused. Yeah, sorry, I should have warned you. Don't just taste the purple spice. It's a thing you got to build up in your system. Once it's cooked down, once it's in something, it's more flavor than effect. But
it sounds dangerous.
I mean, define dangerous.
I guess I
Impairs your
can't.
Judgment?
It definitely can impair your judgment if you're not used to it and you just go like sticking a bunch in your mouth. Yeah.
Or have too much. I guess that's the same with like grog. So yeah, never mind. I guess that's not, as long as it's not addictive or anything. All right, that's fine.
Like scrubbing his teeth. He's like, no, I don't think it's addictive.
Okay, well.
No.
Great.
I take it back now.
Nax did say that he would speak to us when he is done, so wherever we stay, it should be close by.
Yeah, so you're gonna do the taste testing, right? Mm-hmm. So we're doing a round of the taste testing for lunch, if you want to be involved.
Okay.
And then, as long as he's free, he could probably just sit down and eat with you.
That sounds wonderful.
I'll take you to, there's a dining room that we usually do that in, if you just want to go hang out. And then, when they're done, they'll bring it this way. I think we got like 2 more hours left. Just come this way.
Yeah, we follow.
Starts leading you.
Ashram follows.
He actually leads you back out, almost to the entrance. There was a tunnel that went off to had kind of noticed some of those breakfast smells coming from, and heading down there, he leads you into a large dining area that it's kind of lingering here. Those smells kind of like, I'm pretty sure that's Aster would catch. Oh, that's like maple syrup. Probably some hot cakes. There's definitely some kind of like. She's like, pay attention to me right now. Definitely some kind of like sausage was prepared here, or was in this room. So yeah, just kind of gestures. There's still some pictures of the lemon fizz. These are not chilled, however. They have warmed up. You were ridiculous. Can you hear her?
Mm-mm.
No.
I was surprised because I can hear her with my sound canceling headphones on.
Well, all the food smells really good, so Aster's just gonna just start grabbing food and sit down.
Oh yeah, there's
Totally
some like
fine.
leftovers and stuff. There's not really like a bunch of like there's not full trays of food and stuff.
Yeah. Is this the quality of food that will be in the competition?
Oh, I mean, you know, we like to say that we cook for competition every day, but I mean, there is a certain level of preparedness and forethought that goes into actually cooking for the competition, and then just like, you know, cooking for every day. So I wouldn't.
Oh, this is still really
don't
good.
Judge. Don't judge based off of this. Is what I'm saying.
No, that like this is pretty swell. So. Yum. Delicious.
So as you nom
away.
away, what is everyone doing?
I think Ashrin's just waiting for when they get to speak with Nax. I don't know that she has like any other real goals, except, I mean, she's kind of focused on how to convince Tyrannaxis to join the Hoard. So I think she's kind of just going over talking points in her head, and then planning to resort to threats if that doesn't work.
Ashton's got like a notebook with like a 15-point plan laid out. What's Chris up to?
I think I'm also gonna eat and then wait as well.
Okay. Aster?
Yeah, Aster's gonna do the same thing. I'm just gonna eat, chill out with everybody, and kind of like make sure that we're all on the same page. Like, oh yeah, well, he's a dragon. He's talented at food. This spice seems amazing. I would like some. And yeah, what?
I think maybe you should be careful with that spice, Aster. It seems to be quite addictive.
But I mean, the littlest amount, could you imagine the lozenges that I could make with just the littlest amount? It would go so far. I think it could be really, really helpful. Very medicinal.
I mean, having lozenges that make other people addicted to something you have seems potentially useful in infiltration situations, as long as you're not going to ingest them yourself.
No, but there would be such a minute amount that it would be more beneficial. It wouldn't be. Well, we'll see. I mean, obviously, I'd have to come up with a recipe. I don't know. Let me think on that.
Okay. So are we all on the same page when we get meeting with Nax? We bring up how we would like him to join the Hoard's effort for bringing back Tiamat.
Yes.
And then if that conversation does not go well, potentially threaten with, well, we know that for this cooking competition, you're not allowed to use magic. You are using magic. We could bring that up, or not. I assume it would be very difficult to cook in that tiny kitchen as a large dragon.
But using the magic on himself doesn't really affect his cooking.
They said they're not even allowed to like heat things. I don't think they're allowed to use magic at all.
But is this a rule?
But in dragon form, it's a lot harder to use cooking utensils.
Yes.
So that does give them an advantage.
Exactly.
They're okay. I see where you're coming from. That is brilliant.
Thank you.
That's why you're our leader now.
And what? Excuse me?
What? No, nothing. I didn't say anything.
I think actually it's just like, okay.
I take it back.
Ashwin's like, don't take backsies, sorry.
I'm in charge now. No. She just kind of goes, oh, all right. So good plan. Does anybody have anything they want to add to that?
I feel like we should have a montage where we learn how to cook. Sorry, Aster.
That does seem fun. I
You
like
were
that.
saying something,
Let's
Aster.
do it. I like the montage of all of us learning how to cook, and also with the, magic in general. If there's another dragon that has the same thing on their arm or foot or whatever to not look like a dragon, then they'll both be taken out of the competition. And how many people are involved in this competition? Is it just the 2, or is there like 10?
Well, we have no idea if the other person is a dragon or not.
Might be.
I feel like if they were both dragons, they would just compete as dragons. But
I mean, they still have thumbs and stuff.
It's hard to cook.
dragons.
it's true.
They just have gigantic
But,
whisks and bowls and such.
But like, they don't have long enough arms to do this
They're not
comfortably.
T-Rexes.
Right, but like, it's still like with their long necks, it's still got to be very difficult to cook as
Sorry,
a
they're not
full-size dragon.
wyverns with just their flappy wings.
No, look at the picture of the dragon in the new 2024 player handbook on the cover.
Sorry,
Here's
time,
like-
You're telling me that dragon can comfortably cook?
time hasn't evolved here in this story yet, so we're still in 2014 dragons.
I feel like
If you look at the dragons in fizz bands, you're telling me those dragons can comfortably cook.
I mean, there are probably
these
dragon
dragons-
utensils. I'm just saying. It's beautiful.
I disagree. I don't think they could.
I just feel like if one of these guys gets a spoon in its mouth, the spoon's gone.
I will say, even the artwork for
Unless it's a silver
for
spoon.
Tiamat,
Then they wouldn't put it in their mouth.
Tiamat's got like the hands and arms to cook with. I'm just saying.
No, that's fair. I could maybe see Tiamat doing it.
But Tiamat's special. She can do anything. Slay.
Yeah, she wouldn't enjoy it though. Work it, queen.
So
Slay
it's about
boots the
this
house
point in
down.
the conversation about how awesome Tiamat is for cooking competitions when you realize
Sure.
that there are kobolds bringing in like bowls and setting some silverware down at the various tables. Some bring in some clean silverware and everything for you, take away your dirty dishes, put some bowls down, and Cobalt returns. So I guess Nax is gonna eat with you all. Do you mind?
Wonderful.
Okay, awesome. He said he'd be here after he finished cleaning up, and I'm gonna go get a bowl for myself, and I'll be back.
This is going to be amazing.
He wanders off, gets a bowl and a spoon, comes back up and sits like next to Lemon Zest at the table.
Oh, so this guy's gonna be sitting with us?
Yeah, seems like.
Do we want that?
Baby, stay down.
I mean, are we hungry? Was he nice to us? He was. I mean, we can go. We can just try and just talk to him.
I don't know that. I mean, I guess the kobolds have to know he's a dragon, right? Otherwise, they wouldn't be here. Okay, alright.
Okay. So, as the kobolds have, like, come in, they have sat down, everyone has some steaming stew in their bowls, as well as, like, some crusty bread. And they're all just kind of waiting. And soon, Drizzt walks in. She goes to a very specific table, sits down in a space that's been left open for her. And they're all just kind of, like, waiting. And soon you see Max come in. He's taken off the chef's hat, however, he still only has his apron on. And he picks up a large bowl, ladles some soup into it, and sits down next to Ashrin. He's sitting across from Aster. The lozenge was very calming. I appreciate the non-magical effect of the herbs that you concocted within it. Very nice.
Well, thank you so much. That means a lot from you. A master such as yourself.
Please dig in.
I think Ashrin's just gonna take like one spoonful to be like polite and probably gonna start talking shop like immediately. But
What did you
the soup
say?
good? Well, I want to know how the soup is first.
Oh,
The soup good?
how does I don't want to tell you how Ashrin feels about it. So, how does Ashrin feel about this stew? It is a very well-made stew, but how does Ashrin feel about meat stews?
I feel like meat stews are probably good because that's like you get a lot of energy from that, right? She's all about being practical. So
Gotcha.
if it's something you would eat before a sports event, she's probably all about it.
I will say it's not the most practical because it has a lot of like extra ingredients in it. There's lots of vegetables. There's a lot of like flavoring.
Not good
so
for carb loading.
It's very weird because when you eat meat stew, practically on the road, it's kind of like, you know, maybe lamb or some kind of creature that you've caught that's been boiled in water and salted. That's kind of what you're expecting. This like strange medley of flavors in your mouth is something you can't really define. And so how you feel about that is completely up to you.
I think the first thing she thinks to ask is, what is the meat in this?
Do you have salt? What is the meat in this meat stew?
Yeah.
Anyone?
I mean, I feel like it would be a medley of meats, you know, like a really good Italian sauce. You know, they've got like lamb and they've got sausage and they've got beef.
I'm just clarifying, it's not humanoid, right? Oh, good. Oh, good. Okay. Well,
as far as you know, it's not. When was the last time you ate humanoid?
Never. Never,
Then you
Jeremy.
can't tell
Why
the
would
difference.
I? Great. Good. Just tastes like pork.
Yeah, so there's like chunks of like meat in it that are like chunks of just the meat cut away and very just like melt in your mouth. There are pieces of sausage that have been, you think they've been fried in something actually and then put into this. There are also, you're pretty sure there's maybe chicken. There's like little bits of chicken in it as well. It's kind of a something you weren't expecting. There's a white meat in it.
Dead.
I would like to try and identify it. Can I roll survival to see if I
Sure.
It's kobold.
Yeah, my
Right?
-1.
I'm sure it'll be fine.
Oy.
No, that's a 1.
There's that one time.
I'm just enjoying it. It's delicious. I am hungry.
There's that one time that you had to eat one of your fellow
Oh my
cultists. This reminds you of that. No, I'm just kidding. No,
Sorry,
it's
that would be a
delicious.
15 plus roll, I think.
Only if it was correct. No, I mean if
Yeah.
it was wrong.
Oh my god.
No, it's delicious, and
I like that this is the Hannibal episode. Just
as
so
you're
wholesome.
kind of digging in, Ashton, you get ready to say something to jump into business, and after a long, chewy taste that Nax took of his soup, he kind of seems thoughtful, and then he looks down at you. And, like, remember you're sitting next to him, so he kind of like over and down at you. So are you Tiamat worshippers, or are you still stuck in the Draco Lich thing?
No, we've pivoted to Tiamat. That's actually why we are here to speak with you. Traveled a long way to find you.
I figured. I had a feeling you weren't really here to learn how to cook, but
I actually do think some of my companions are here to learn how to cook.
This
Nice.
place is wonderful. I'm
Thank you.
enjoying myself.
thank you. I appreciate that. But I have a feeling you're here for something else brought you here. I hear you had some run-in at the old lair.
Yes, your old abode seemed to be quite infested with some sort of elemental monstrosity.
Really?
Yes, we've taken care of it, so if that's something you
Oh.
wish to return back to, that's all cleared out.
No, the purple worms kind of did a number on, the structural integrity of the place. But elementally, you say?
Yes, and then Ashrin looks over to Lemon Zest, because Lemon Zest found the device,
yeah.
right, that it was trapped in?
Was it
I-
lemon zest?
Yeah, I pull it. No, it was Chris.
I thought it was
Oh, was it
Chris.
Okay,
Found
then Ashrin looks
Yeah,
over
I
at Chris.
tried to identify it,
Um,
or I cast identify on it.
yeah, we had found some sort of
something,
containment device that had been broken. Did that belong to you, or was that
You bring it out.
I don't have it, so someone else would have to bring it out.
I can bring it out.
His eyes
Glass.
go wide. He's like, my blender. Oh,
Your what?
it's an arcane device that I use for mixing things. I thought I was gonna have to have a new one made, but
Excuse
it looks like
you, your blender could have killed us.
What do you mean?
Are you using other blenders like this?
No, I don't have another blender currently. I need to
Good.
get another made.
Good. Do not make lemon zest is because lemon zest is only like half-hearted in the cult in the first place,
My God.
and so hearing this, he's like, "Why the f am I in like?" I need that. Is the inheritance worth it at this point? Is kind of what he's thinking. But then I think, like, as he starts to get really, he feels that ping from Tiamat, like a little shock in his brain. Like, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to.
It's more like you
Question
feel
you.
a scaly hand slip up your spine and into your snoot and begins moving
Yeah,
your
like-
mouth.
Yeah, suddenly, like what I'm saying is, that is so smart of you. As a novice artificer, there is so much I can learn, and I cover my mouth like.
Oh, no, I didn't make it. I bought it. But I guess the elemental had something to do with, because this is broken. I don't know if you noticed, but this crystal is shattered. And I guess it makes sense if this was like, no, that does make a lot of sense that the elemental was probably trapped in there. Oh, guess I'm gonna have to think of something else.
So in your cooking competition, we were told that you're not allowed to use magic. Does that pertain to items? Because I assume that would have been enchanted to contain the elemental.
Oh yeah, I don't get to use the blender for that. That's more of like a home cooking kind of thing.
Interesting. So, as I was saying before, we were sent here to sort of recruit you into the Hoard that is dedicated to bringing Tiamat back from the Nine Hells.
I was wondering
How-
if I would
yeah.
get a call. It's been a while since the cult has shown up, and back then they were like, "Hey, come be a magical skeleton," and I was just like, "No, I can't taste anything as a magical skeleton. Doesn't really make sense for my vibe." No.
No, now we are all about empowering our dragon allies.
I mean, some of you are. The Tower of the Talon's still just up the hill from here, and Anabraxis is still like, "Hey, come be a skeleton."
We're not. Just to clarify, we're
Yeah.
not with them, right?
You were not.
Okay. Yeah.
I don't know how much the others might have shared with you as far as trying to meet with Anabraxis and getting a tithe for Tiamat from the Draco Lich leader of the other faction of the cult.
Oh. Okay.
How much did you... But with that being said, it is 3 p.m. Eastern right now.
Oh,
I feel like we should probably call it for the week. Thanks for playing. We'll pick up here next time. And just so everyone knows, there's no other stream going on this weekend. But next Friday, we're returning for Daggerheart, The Broken Spine. Join us at 8 p.m. Eastern. And then next Saturday is Hunter Badblood, the next episode. It is also at 8 p.m. Eastern here on the channel. Does anyone else have anything they want to throw out there coming up this week?
What do I have going on this week?
On Saturday over on Records of the Realms, I'll be GMing a game of Absurdia. And on Friday over at
What?
Entropy Emporium, I will be in a 5e game called Weird Wilds War. Absurdia, it's like Welcome to Night Vale, sort
Nice.
Oh, nice.
Awesome.
but it came out like years before because now Welcome to Night Vale is on Kickstarter and stuff, actually turning it into a game. But this was like your best option before then. So just weird suburban town that's in its own, much like Barovia is in its own pocket dimension.
Nice.
You can't leave. Yeah.
This Sunday, I'm going to be GMing Salvage Union over on the Boss Jellybean channel, which is going to be very fun. It's we're going to be piloting a bunch of mechs and a post-apocalyptic wasteland. It's going to be great.
I love it.
Oh, also, as always, you can, if you want Mika content like right now, I'm in season 2 of The Heart is a Dungeon, where I play Lala Lemon, who is a Corvid Fae who smokes and is a little bit of a klepto.
Love it.
Yeah.
Awesome. Go check out all those things. Also head over to our YouTube channel. The link is in chat right now. We're trying to get to our 500 followers before the end of the year. Let's see if we can do it. That'd be awesome. And if you want to know what's going on for the channel, follow us at WH Pubs on all of the various socials. And one last mention, you can head over to our calendar at the link that's now in chat at whpublications.com/events, and you can subscribe to it, and then you know what's coming up. It's on your calendar then. It's fantastic and so nifty. Thanks so much for playing today, you all. I always enjoy seeing you, and thank you all for joining us today. We're going to raid, so hang out for that, and we will see you next time. Bye.